Welcome to the Explainer. So let's just dive right in. Today, we are unlocking what I absolutely love to call the coder's ultimate superpower, and that is Python functions. Now, if you've been working with Python for even a little bit, you've probably hit that annoying wall where your scripts start getting way too long, they're super messy, and honestly, just a headache to manage. Well, understanding functions is exactly the thing that upgrades you from someone who just writes scripts to a highly efficient software architect.
I want you to think about this question for a second. Have you ever caught yourself literally copying and pasting the exact same chunk of logic into like 4 different places within your file? It is a universally relatable frustration, right? Because if you find a bug in that copied code later, well, now you have to hunt down every single place you pasted it just to fix it. Functions exist to solve this exact pain point. They completely eliminate that messy, repetitive code.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We'll cover the power of code reuse, building your first function, inputs and outputs, scope and function types, a practical student marks calculator, and finally, mastering Python functions.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the power of code reuse. So what exactly is this superpower we're talking about? At its core, a function is simply a reusable block of code that is designed to do one specific task. I actually like to think of a function sort of like a specialized machine in a factory. You feed the machine some raw materials, it does a very specific, predefined job, and then it hands you back a finished product. You don't need to rebuild the machine from scratch every single time you want that product, right? You just turn the machine on.
And let's look at how this directly benefits your daily coding workflow. Code reusability means you write it once and you use it everywhere. It's that simple. Then there's enhanced readability, because you can name this block of code something super descriptive, which makes your overall file read almost like plain English. You also get modularity, allowing you to break massive, incredibly complex problems down into small, bite-sized pieces. And of course, easier maintenance. Remember that bug nightmare we talked about earlier? Well, with functions, you fix the bug in one single place, and boom, it's fixed everywhere in your program.
Moving right along to Section 2, building your first function.
Building these tools in Python is actually a very straightforward process. Step 1 is just using the def keyword, which is simply short for define. You type def, followed right away by step 2, which is naming your function. And a quick tip here, choose a name that clearly describes exactly what the task is. Once you've written your block of code inside, you move to step 3, which is execution. See, your function won't actually do anything at all until you specifically tell it to run, which you do by simply calling its name anywhere else in your code.
Okay, Section 3, inputs and outputs. Now, this is a distinction that trips up so many developers. Parameters versus arguments. Parameters are the variables listed right there inside the parentheses in the function definition. They basically act like placeholders for the raw materials your factory machine needs. Arguments, on the other hand, are the actual real pieces of data you pass into the function when you call it. And by the way, the difference between these two is a very common interview question, so absolutely mentally anchor this concept for sure.
Once your function has processed those arguments, you're going to need the result. And that is exactly where the return statement comes in. The return statement is literally the finished product coming straight out of the machine. It takes whatever value was calculated inside the function and shoots it right back out to your main program, where you can easily store it in a variable or use it for some other calculation.
All right, on to Section 4, scope and function types.
The absolutely crucial point to grasp here is understanding the boundaries of your data. Scope determines where a variable lives and where it can actually be accessed. Local scope means any variables created inside a function are strictly restricted to that specific function. They literally disappear once the function finishes running. Global scope, however, means variables defined outside of all your functions are accessible anywhere in the code. Keeping these two boundaries crystal clear prevents your data from unexpectedly overriding itself and saves you from some truly massive debugging headaches.
In Python, you are generally going to encounter 2 main types of functions. First up, there are built-in functions, things like print or len, that Python graciously just provides for us right out of the box. Second are the user-defined functions. These are the ones you build all by yourself using that def keyword. And just to ground this theory in reality for a second, consider how user-defined functions literally run the world around us. The logic behind banking EMI calculators, the processing and school attendance systems, calculations and digital grading systems, these are all fundamentally built on user-defined functions.
Which brings us nicely to Section 5, student marks calculator.
Let's say we wanted to build a grading system application. We can easily visualize the core logic right now. On the input side, we've got our expected input, the student's name and their specific scores across various subjects. Those are our parameters and arguments. The function steps in, does all the heavy lifting, adding up the scores and calculating the average. Then we get our expected output, the total marks and the final letter grade. That right there is our return statement. You see how cleanly functions translate those inputs directly into outputs?
But while you're building cool projects like this, it is super vital to watch out for a few really common pitfalls. Two of the biggest mistakes developers make are, 1, missing your return statements, which is basically where your function does all the brilliant math but totally forgets to actually hand the answer back to you, and 2, incorrect parameter usage, like maybe passing a random word into a function when it was explicitly expecting a number. So always double-check your inputs and your outputs.
And finally, Section 6, Mastering Python Functions.
To quickly summarize our whole journey today, functions really are the absolute key to evolving your code. They help you create software that is highly reusable, beautifully organized, and incredibly maintainable. You are no longer just randomly writing lines of code top to bottom. You are actually building modular systems. You've truly unlocked a programming superpower today. So here's my parting challenge for you, based on the source material we covered. I want you to actively apply what we've just talked about. Can you go and create a basic function to just add two numbers together? And once you nail that, try to take it a step further. Build separate calculator functions for subtraction, multiplication, and division. Seriously, close this explainer, open up your code editor, and start flexing your new superpower. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and happy coding.